What is up, YouTube? It's RS Mario here, bringing you another Pokemon video. This time with the release of Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, we look to the future of Pokemon, and that is Pokemon on the Switch. Of course, another game that we know next to nothing about. It's probably going to come out in 2018, even though technically this game will probably come out before other games like Fire Emblem Switch or even Metro Prime 4. But probably, I'm still putting my money on 2019. There's a small chance it'll be a holiday 2018 thing, but I'm definitely thinking 2019 for this game. But definitely, let's get to 10 things you should and should not do for Pokemon Switch. Let's go. So the first one being the art style. So do a better art style, not a beefier art style. So a better art style would not be something like Unreal 4. I mean, I guess it would be more powerful, better looking art style, like Unreal Engine 4, where all the Pokemon look furry. You can see the fur on Pokemon. That would be great. I think the Switch can handle that, but I think keeping in line with something a more stylized art style would be better. Something along the lines of Persona 5. That art style is pretty good, and it would kind of work for Pokemon. Because while seeing the fur on a Pokemon would be interesting, it would also be weird because we've never seen that. So, open worlds with restrictions. So this is something I think I said about Breath of the Wild before we knew it was Breath of the Wild. Having an open world but have natural restrictions. Like things that naturally occur in the world to stop you. So not invisible walls or something like that, but like mountains or, you know, something like a large field of grass, and have the Pokemon in that field be really high level to make it really hard for you to get from one place to another without going on the desired path, but still make it possible. Because that way the world is open. It's just this is the more favorable path. You don't have to take this path. You know, you can go off the beaten path if you want to. You might get wrecked, but you can go on, the unbeaten path, or you can stay on this path and progress through the game normally. This will work. You know, this way you have that kind of semi-linear path you would in a normal Pokemon game for people who want to take it easy, or for people who want to do it the hard way. You can have it. You can have them do that. And speaking of the hard way, difficulty settings. This is something I've been saying since ORAS. We need difficulty settings in Pokemon games. Because unlike Zelda, where you can just make the game a bit harder and, for everybody, which, I mean, I guess would be interesting, the Pokemon fan base is a bit bigger. Like, there are older Pokemon fans like myself that's been around since Gen 1. There are new Pokemon fans that have come in through the respective generations, possibly Generation 6 and 7. Kids that, they're just going to take it easy, have fun. You have Pokemon casuals who came in through Pokemon Go. You have returning Pokemon fans that came in because Alola was crazy and they just liked Sun and Moon. They're coming back and getting reacclimated. There's a ton of different Pokemon fans out there that you need to think about when it comes to difficulty. So having difficulty settings works. The kids can play on easy. The kind of the casuals or the returning fans, trying to get acclimated to the game, can play on medium. And then people like me, like hardcore No Limit soldiers, can play on hard mode. This works. This way everybody can play the way they want. Even though technically one way I kind of make the game better is I purposely go into battles under level. Like, I don't do any grinding, mostly no grinding throughout the game, and I purposely go into challenges and battles and things under level, so the game just seems harder to me. So, shake up the metagame. So, now this one, if Pokemon Switch is going to be Generation 8, this is something that we don't even really need to talk about, because every new generation with new Pokemon, new moves, new abilities, always shakes up the meta game. But one of the coolest things about Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon is the effects it has on the meta game. The new move tutors, the new egg moves, the new level up moves, just distributing moves to different Pokemon shakes the meta game, because now this Pokemon has the move that can make it more viable. You know, that is good. If this is not going to be a Gen 8 game, you need some new move tutors, you know, new TM move. Well, not new moves, but giving a wider distribution to some kind of powerful move that could definitely make this Pokemon, you know, UU or freaking OU. So expand customization. I think I mentioned this in another video when I was talking about Sun and Moon. Expanding customization, not just with you and not just with maybe your room, but with your Pokemon. I want to put a hat on my Pokemon, not just like those Pikachus with costumes. I want like regular clothes for, well, not regular clothes because that would be ridiculous, but you know, like maybe a hat. You know, if I want to put some bling on my Blastoise, you know what I'm saying, or sunglasses, something. I want some little customization things for my Pokemon. That would be nice. Like, customizing me is fine, you know, but customizing the Pokemon would be sick. So the next one is Pokemon following you. Yo, Pokemon following you. You know what I think about this? Nope. Exactly. No. Okay, I'm kind of sick of Pokemon following you. Every list like this I see on YouTube, there's like near the top. Sometimes the top thing people want is to have Pokemon following you. Okay, I know it was a cool thing back in the day, a little sprite following you, but you know, one, we got full 3D models, so it's a little bit different, and two, it's all cool when it's the smaller Pokemon like Pikachu, like Cyndaquil, you know, Squirtle, whatever. But just imagine walking around with Blastoise behind you. Massive Pokemon. Somebody's walking around. You know, there's people who use legendaries on their team. Like, I don't use legendaries on my in-game team unless I'm going up against another legend or something. But people who use legendaries on their team, imagine a dude walking around with Groudon, right? So you're in the line at the food truck behind the Groudon man. He just got Groudon chilling behind him with Drought. To say, oh, thanks, Pokemon trainer. Thank you for my skin cancer. Amazing, right? No Pokemon following you. Get out. Hey, freak, I'm gonna tell you a secret. I'm gonna tell you something. Don't fuck with the battle system. Don't do it. Simple. I mean, because the battle system works. Like, don't, like, I seen one dude was like, oh, we need to add like some kind of like weird like quick time event like timing system from like the Mario Luigi games, or like some. I'm like, no, don't talk. If you have friends, like, don't talk to those people, because we don't need that. The battle system for Pokemon is fine. One of the things that pushed me off of the Final Fantasy games, or they kind of like, you know, maybe mad with Final Fantasy games, was when they changed the battle system so drastically between Final Fantasy X and Final Fantasy XII. I mean, they kind of did it with 13, but that was weird. And then Final Fantasy 15's battle system was weird, but it took me getting used to it. And once I got used to it, it was fine. But don't change the battle system, because you don't really need to do it, because, I mean, it's fine. Don't rush the game, okay? If this is a Generation 8 game, I honestly don't care if it takes till 2020 for this game to come out. Because, I mean, I don't want them to just rush into another generation. Like, literally, Generation 7 was a year ago, roughly. So, I mean, why do we need Generation 8 right now? I mean, the next game probably should be Generation 4 remakes, because whenever they do remakes, they want to recapture that same feeling from the original, and that would work with this, because the main reason why we're not going to get Generation 4 remakes in Generation 7 or at least in Generation 7 hardware, the 3DS, because they want those games to reflect the transition between GBA and DS. So that transition between 3DS and Switch would work nicely to have those games just drop on the Switch. Now, I don't know if they'll do that, but I think that's what they're going for. So if this is Generation 8, don't rush it. Take your time. This can be a holiday 2019 game. Take your time. Don't rush the game. Don't forget about the past. So one thing that has irked me with many video games is that whenever there's a new iteration of the game, they kind of reinvent the wheel a bit and they toss out even the good things they did in the last iteration. This pissed me off with wrestling games back in the day, where you would have a good mechanic in last year's wrestling game, but this year's wrestling game, nope, we reinvented the wheel and now that mechanic is gone. Wow. Now don't do that. Pokemon doesn't do that a lot, but they did do it when it came to Mega Evolution. Like at first, it didn't like Mega Evolutions, but it grew up and now I think they're a paramount part of it. And they did put it in Generation 7 and I was like, don't do Megas? Alolan forms are great, but don't do Megas? No more now. This would be more if it's a Gen 4 game. If I can see them doing that. And last but not least, don't forget the story. The story. Okay, this is probably one of the biggest things holding Pokemon back is the story. And I mean, Pokemon's not really being held back by that much because it's the most profitable franchise in the world, even more than Star Wars. Okay, the Pokemon franchise is worth, I think, like $6 trillion. I don't think that's money. I think it was 6 trillion yen. But it's worth a lot of money. And it's the most profitable franchise in the world. So, imagine a good story with that. An amazing Pokemon story with the already solid, time-tested gameplay. This thing would be selling, the Switch would be selling Wii levels, if it hasn't already done so by then. So, with these things in mind, I hope Pokemon Switch is awesome. Okay guys, I have more videos are coming soon. Like, comment, subscribe. And as always, keep it real.